Hey, welcome back to my channel. And if you're brand new, welcome. This is Sublime Time Plant Love, and my name is Marcel. And I'm so happy you came, and I'm so happy you came back. So, listen, on this channel, you're gonna learn about how to keep these babies alive and how they keep you alive. We're going to do some healthy eating, and I'm taking you outside. So listen, what's going to happen? You hear me? What's going to happen is we're going to go walking, we're going jogging, we're going bike riding, and we might go swimming and rock climbing. There's no telling. Anyway, I want you to come along with me. In order for you to do that, you got to hit like, you got to hit subscribe, and definitely hit that notification bell so that you can know when I put content in, if I have some contests or some free giveaways. So listen, today we're talking about lighting. You know, right now it's the winter time. We're all experiencing this funky funky sunlight process. Is it light one day, dark one day, sun, no sun? There's no telling. So listen, it's our jobs to keep these babies alive, keep them thriving and surviving throughout this winter season. So what I've done, I've taken I've made it my business to, on my day off, pay attention to how the sun cascades throughout the house. You know, what wall does the sun land on and stay? You know, it's not going to stay because it's continuously moving, creating shadows and of sun and light and darkness throughout the entire day. But because you know where it falls exactly on the wall, you can decide to position your plants on those spaces so that they can get optimal sun, because it's a different world in the wintertime. You know, and this past summer I had pretty much all of my plants outdoors. The only ones I didn't have outdoors were the ones that have super light leaves, and I took them out, and then um I didn't know. And a couple of them got a little leaf damage because the leaves were bleached because it was full on direct sun. And so I'm wiser now. So now, because of the winter time, we have to be a little strategic in how we do this, how we, protect and care for our plants. So what I did, as I was mentioning a few seconds ago, on my day off, I paid attention to how the light fell, and throughout this video, I'm going to insert some pictures so that you can see how I fashioned some, vignettes throughout my house to accommodate the sun or lack thereof. I don't think we realize the potential traumas. I mean, plants are super resilient, but the potential traumas that the plants go through between seedling or cutting to your living room. They start out in a nursery where they're in a controlled environment, and they're getting a certain amount of light, a certain amount of humidity, water, everything is controlled. And so then they move from the nursery, which is prime, which is, the optimum situation besides the actual nature in which they originated from. Then they move to the big box store, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, and then they have a controlled environment. Now we know Home Depot, Lowe's, and Walmart have outdoor garden centers, so they can potentially get a whole heck of a lot of sun, and um, that's a great thing. But then there's some houseplants within those big box stores that stay indoors, and they get a certain level of environment. I mean, their environment is very controlled as well. Then We move them from those stores to our house and we expect no change. We expect that big, bushy, leafy green plant to stay exactly like it was when we first bought it. Forget about it. Just forget about it. Listen, you're bringing it into your environment, which is another controlled environment. How much humidity is in your house? How dry is the air? How hard is the water? Do you have soft water, hard water, well water? Um, do you use distilled water? Are you boiling your water on the stove? Do you use rainwater? I have no idea. But the bottom line is you have a whole nother controlled environment that plant needs to get used to. And unfortunately, let me tell you, going from the big box stores to your house, I've seen it firsthand. A lot of the employees in the big box stores, in the garden section or plant section, may or may not know or care too much about the plants. They were told water them and they watered them, you know? And so by the time you get it home, I mean, that person, male or female, could have been working in lumber on Tuesday. They could have been working in the plumbing department that Friday before. So they may or may not know too much about plants in the first place. You get the plant home, that puppy is soggy, dripping wet. I've learned, bring it home, leave it alone. Bring it home and leave it alone. Don't put any water in there. Don't do anything, but give it sunlight. Give it sunlight and give it space to get used to its new controlled environment. So now, what you've done, two great things you've done for the plant. Number one, you've allowed it to dry out so that you can alleviate, relieve, deter the opportunity to have fungus gnats, because fungus gnats cannot thrive or survive in a dry environment. So if you allow the top 2 inches of the dirt to dry out, you prevent that plant from potentially getting or keeping fungus gnats. So now, also what you've done is possibly prevented root rot because the roots aren't sitting in water. So now, again, bring it home, leave it alone. Let it have some space. Hey, and while you're leaving it alone, look it up on the internet. Look up that plant. They should have come with a tag that says, you know, hi, my name is such and such, and I'm a such and such, and I need such and such. And if by chance you don't have one of those tags, but you know what that plant is, go on the internet and look it up. Find out maybe where that plant originated, how it existed in its true natural habitat, and do your best to create that environment. If that plant was under a canopy, that means it doesn't need direct sunlight. It needs, you know, indirect sunlight. If it was full on sun, if it was ground cover and full on sun, it didn't give your plant full on sun. But it pays to do a little research on the plant, maybe before you bring it home, but definitely in that time where it's bring it home, leave it alone, do a little research and find out what that plant needs so that you can keep it alive and make sure it thrives and grows. Because, I mean, what was the point of purchasing it if you didn't want it to grow big and beautiful? And I think that's about it for my video. I definitely am so glad you came back, not to my video. I'm so glad you came back, or you came for the first time. But either way, please continue to visit with me. Hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Definitely hit the notification bell, because then you'll know what I'm doing. Because you know what? I want you to come hang out with me, drink some tea, and talk some plant talk. Don't forget,